Hello, it's Not Bad Cat here on March 26th, 2022 with your weekly Rimworld mod updates and uploads. Just gotta say, a great modding community transforms a game for the better. I've covered almost 150 mods in this series so far, and behind each one is a person or team putting in their knowledge, time, and dedication so you can enjoy the game your way. Let's dive in. Eventually you get to a point in the game where you want to keep your stockpiles filled with only good apparel and weapons, but it can be annoying setting up the filters for every stockpile and station to keep the good stuff and destroy the bad stuff. Useless Filter by Mlie lets you set up what is considered useless. What does that mean to you? Is it biocoded? What about tainted? What kind of quality is useless? And what item HP do you consider useless? Is it maybe just anything that's tattered? If the item meets any of these settings, it will be considered useless. Awful quality but 100 hit points? Useless. Legendary but biocoded? Useless. Allow or disallow useless items in stockpiles or workstations to easily sort good from the bad. Tribal Tattoos by Shenanigans adds 12 body tattoos and 14 face tattoos to add more variety for your pawns. They are compatible with the mod's facial animation and beautiful bodies and look clear and crisp with any mods that increase the resolution and of course, Camera Plus. Ideology is required for these and pawns might go to the styling station to give their skin a new look with a new tattoo. I don't like seeing real-world religions for ideologies. I used the mod Remove Real-World Religions, but I didn't really care for the silliness. It's just my playstyle. If you want ideologies that don't seem out of place, you might like Detached Real-World Religions by Egg. You'll have monotheism, polytheism, brutalism, and monastic instead. It keeps the idea of the 4 real-world religions without specifying them. They won't prefer the styles of the real-world religions, but you still are able to set an ideology style to one of the 4 if you so choose. Are you tired of replanting all those flowers for the beauty around your base? Or perhaps you want to go with an ultra sci-fi in look. Metaflora by Sepphoris lets you plant mechanical plants. They don't need electricity and they live forever, so plant once and forget. And it's not just flowers for your plant pots, but trees too. You'll need to unlock their research, but none of the plants require any resources to make currently. It was originally made for decoration purposes, but this mod might be expanded in the future if there is interest for it. If you're a fan of the mods that restrict your pawns from using things if they don't have the technology unlocked, you might like I Can't Fix That by Mlie. Your tribal colony might have found that battery in a raider camp and brought it back with them, but if they haven't even researched electricity, how would they know how to fix a battery? Your pawns will be able to use buildings, apparel, or weapons they haven't researched, but just not repair them. In Royalty, there's always the event that allows you to save a rebel from the Empire and instantly become enemies with the highly advanced and powerful faction. But after that, there's nothing that expands on that. Ellet made the Rebel Alliance that adds a new faction where you can hate the Empire but still play with a lot of the mechanics that are unique to them. More than just a faction, it adds new furniture, weapons, quests, plus you'll earn Rebel Trust instead of Honor and unlock new Rebel Permits. This faction doesn't have the high-tech weapons and armor, but they make up for it in determination. 123 Personalities M2 by Hakethoma is the second module in the series that adds far more depth to pawns beyond their traits. M1 introduced personality types, character traits, and psychological drives. Itself, M1 gave pawns personalities, but it didn't impact gameplay too much. M2 expands the psychological drives, which affect how colonists make decisions and respond to events and other pawns. Pawns that have the same drive will be harmonious and have larger effects, such as a lower chance of friendly fire against each other. Complementary drives will have small effects, and disparate bonuses always come with a drawback, such as faster caravans that attract a lot more attention. Factions will now have the psychological drive of their leader, meaning you might need more than one social pawn to have better interactions with the many factions and their temperamental leaders. Personalities RPG Alignments is another mod by Hakathoma that changes the personalities from an Enneagram personality type to the character alignments from Dungeons & Dragons and used over and over as the basis for many game alignment systems. You have one axis of good, neutral, and evil, and the second axis of lawful, neutral, and chaotic, resulting in 9 combinations. Right now, it doesn't affect pawn behaviors, but with Module 2 and the fluid personality setting turned on, pawns can sometimes change alignment from events, a lot of effort, or gradually over time. That wraps up the mod updates and uploads for this week of March 26th, 2022. If you're interested in any of these mods, you can find the links to them in my description. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. I'm Not Bad Cat, and I'll see you next week.